What's going on, guys? Welcome to my channel. My name is Noah. Thank you so much for being here. I am basically documenting my journey of me creating, starting a clothing brand, and throughout that process, just what's going into my daily life while doing so. So today, it's early, and we're up, we're out, and the goal is to go for somewhat of a run this morning. So I'm going to be so honest with you guys this morning. The absolute last thing that I wanted to do this morning was go for a run. I'm laying in bed and I'm like, it's cozy, it's warm in here, it feels like 10 degrees outside, and the absolute last thing that I want to do is put on my running shoes and go for a run. But then the other part of me was like, dude, if you just get out there and you go for a run and you break in the day, then the rest of your whole day is going to seem so much easier. So every single morning what I like to do is I start out by just yeah, right? Yeah, exactly. Good morning, man. I like to start out the day by just doing something that's a little bit harder, just challenging, so that the rest of the day seems a little bit easier. And so that's what I'm doing this morning. It's not about how far I'm running. It's literally just about getting out there, seeing how my legs feel, and then doing it. But the hardest part of the day is just getting to right here. So let's go. That's a win. All right. So that was the run. I told you it's not about the pace. 1 mile, a little over a mile. Pace was 10:38, which I'd be mad about that if it wasn't like super slippery and like snowy out. So I just got done working for a little bit and now I'm cooking up some breakfast. One of the things that I eat every single morning is egg whites, especially after I go for a run. So I'm gonna do egg whites, I'm gonna do avocado, cottage cheese, put onion on top, and then I use this everything but the bagel seasoning, and it's just so good. I'll show you guys what it looks like when I'm done. Perfect way to get protein down and not feel like super full in the morning, because I hate eating a bunch and then feeling super full like I can't do anything for the rest of the day. So this is what we're working with. Basically a whole avocado, the egg whites, which I used half the jug, which is around 25 grams of protein. Cottage cheese, I used half of a cup, which is a decent bit of protein too. I don't know the number off the top of my head. And then you've got the egg whites, onions on the side. This is that jet fuel that's gonna get us going throughout the whole day. Now I'm gonna eat this, and then I'm gonna work on some designs for Eliora. I have to make a few hat designs, which I'm pretty pumped about. But I'm gonna nail out those 3 designs for Eliora for the hats, and I'll show you guys sort of my thought process. Whoa, that's a lot of sriracha. I'll show you guys sort of my thought process and what I'm thinking going into the designs, why I'm creating them, my direction with them, and all of that. And you'll see some behind the scenes of that. So I'm gonna eat this, shower, and then we'll cut to the design process. I wanna show you some of the designs that I'm working on. What I'm going to be doing are 3 hat designs for my core collection, and one of the designs I'm actually sending out to a designer to get done. So I'm only really needing to do 2 of them, but I want to show you guys kind of my thought process and what is going on behind the scenes of the designs. This is what I've got so far. It's a cream cap with just a navy bill, but I was extremely specific about all these different colors because if I've learned anything with working with suppliers, it's just the more detail you give them, the better. I want the brand to have a really aesthetic, modern, sort of elegant feel to it, and so that is going to be something that I keep in mind while creating these hats. So here's what I'm thinking about for the first hat. Basically what I did is I took the first letter of Eliora and I had all these assets made from my designer, so I just have the E's all lined out here, and then I double layered it here so it's a little bit thicker to look like an embroidery. There we go, a little bit closer there, but I really like that for the side of the hat. A detail that I like a lot is when brands do this on the back of their hats where they have their brand name like that written on like this little pull tab. So I want to incorporate that right here. So Eliora right there is going to go right by the snap on the back of the hat. And I would say that this one is pretty much finalized for hat number one, just super clean, super basic. Has that luxury feel, which I was going for. There's the side of the hat, Eliora. These are the same color. For some reason, it looks a little bit different on the camera. But Eliora EST 25 on the side. And then, of course, on the back, you've got the Eliora right on that little tab. So this is the second design. Super basic again, but has that elegant feel to it. I really like the way the cream pops off this midnight blue hat. And then right here, I added some text to the side of the hat. Let me zoom in so you can see it a little bit better. But it says the best place to be is where you are now, and then EST 2025. So I thought that looks really sick on the side of the hat with our secondary font. So on the back then, I've got Eliora, just keeping it super consistent with all the other hats and the way that we're labeling it right by the snapback. So with these then, what I'm going to do is just add a bunch of information, just arrows and exactly what I want for embroidery, text and all of that, just so it's super clear to my supplier what I'm looking for. But after that, I'm pretty much going to send this same exact design for both hats, and then I'm pending our last one. So all 3 designs are going to go to like 3 or 4 suppliers, and then whichever samples I like the best is the supplier that I'm going to go with. But I would say that as of right now, all of these hats are pretty much finalized, but I might make a few more tweaks. So I've been trying to work with Berkeley a little bit on her like sit and high five and all this. So we're gonna test her out and see how she's doing. How am I gonna do this? We're gonna put the mic right here. All right, here, go this way. Sit, 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 sit. Okay, you're already spamming high five. Sit. Good, good, treat. All right. Sit, sit, high five. Do this hand, Sit, high five, high five, high five. No. All right, sit, sit, sit. High five, high five. Good girl, good girl. That's a good girl. That's a good girl. All right, last one. Sit, sit, lay, lay, lay. Good girl, good girl. All right, that's it. All right, so I'm gonna watch some YouTube and just try to soak in some information, just learn, like I said, as much as I can. So that's what we're gonna do. So I've always been into business as early as like 13, 14 years old. And throughout my entrepreneurial journey, I've started a handful of different companies. And I would say that my strong suit is the marketing and the branding and just being sort of like the logistical creator, if that makes sense. And so for this, with the clothing, I have a vision of exactly what I want and what I'm going to create. And it's just a matter of putting all those pieces together. And I've found that with the past projects that I've worked on for different brands that I've started, maybe not everyone gets the vision right away, or it's hard to articulate the vision right away. But I feel like as the needle moves forward and as the ball starts rolling, that vision just naturally gets revealed. And so I'm excited to go through and continue to learn, because what I've done, my past, for some of you who are watching this and don't know, but my past businesses have mostly been Amazon businesses, to where I'm starting my own brand and launching products under the brand and then selling them on Amazon. And that is my strong suit. And when I first got started with that, I just immersed myself with resources, knowledge, podcasts, YouTube videos, just basically was a sponge to the industry and tried to learn as much as I possibly could. And with clothing, I'm treating it that same way, just trying to immerse myself with everything, being in the right rooms, talking to the right people, watching the right videos, listening to the right podcasts. I do have some skills that I've learned throughout the years of me running different businesses that I'm 100% going to be able to transfer over to the clothing, but it's still intimidating. It's a beast of its own, and a clothing business can arguably be one of the most competitive businesses to start. And so I'm going into it with the thought in my mind, knowing that I'm not going to get rich off of it, especially right away. That's not the goal with it. The goal with it for me is just to be a creative, do something that I'm passionate about, and just continue to move the needle forward with something that I know absolutely nothing about. I think there's a lot of magic in starting a business that Berkeley wants to play fetch now. I think there's a lot of magic in starting a business that I know absolutely nothing about as an industry in total. There's a lot to learn there, and I think I'm at a point just in my business journey where I really am eager to learn. And so that's another one of the drivers that's pushing me towards clothing. If you're someone who has been wanting to create a business and just maybe hasn't done it yet for a number of reasons, I mean, trust me, like I've been in that situation where it just seems so overwhelming, even with this, like even with the clothing brand stuff. I'm like, it was all very overwhelming to me at first, but I promise you, the more that you just get surrounded and immerse yourself in it, the easier and easier it will be. So I hope that sits well with someone who needs to hear that today. I think this is where we're going to wrap up the video. I hope that you enjoyed this little documentary type video of me just going behind the scenes of what is going into the clothing brand that I'm starting. It's for myself to personally look back on. Hopefully once we've created a brand that, you know, is successful in the eyes of what I have in mind. And, you know, it'll be cool for me to look back at, but also for you, I hope that there's some value here, even if that's just entertainment. So I would love to hear from you down in the comments, and just let me know what you thought of the video, or if you learned anything. Thank you guys so much for riding with me. It truly means the world to me, and I will see you guys in the next video. Until then, peace.